Let's talk about Doctor Who, the Giggle. All right, if you've been following along on my channel, then you'll see my other reviews for the other two Doctor Who specials with David Tennant and Russell T Davies returning with Donna Noble. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I'm not going to go through all my Doctor Who stuff. Watch the first special I did. That goes through all my Doctor Who things. I met all the doctors. I have their autographs, lots of toys, tattoos, all that stuff. So watch that, and you can get my Doctor Who. If you're only watching this video, then you can just trust me that I'm a super massive Doctor Who fan. I own every DVD and Blu-ray of everything that ever came out since 1963. Well, not since 1963, but any DVD that's related to Doctor Who. So from William Hartnell's run all the way to Jodie's and on. And I'll be buying all these specials on Blu-ray as well. And I have Torchwood and Class and K9 and Sarah Jane and all that stuff. All right, we're gonna use my space system. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get in any category. This will contain spoilers towards the end. I will warn you. It'll be in the enjoyment factor, so it'll be in the last category. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, you'll get a sense for what I was thinking. This episode, just to remind everybody, the first one, the Star Beast, I gave that a 4 out of 10. And the second one, Wild Blue Yonder, I gave a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. That didn't stop about 150 comments of calling me an a-hole and R-word and all this other trash crap, even though I gave it a 6 out of 10. So I don't know what these people want. Is somebody really watching these specials and then thinking they're 10 out of 10? Like, have they watched other Doctor Who specials or episodes? Probably not if they're thinking these are so high. I'm ranking this against Doctor Who. Not ranking this against Star Trek or Picard or something. I'm ranking it, I'm in Doctor Who, okay? All right. For the storyline, and whether or not you like this episode is going to be determined by literally the ending. Because up until the ending, there really wasn't a hell of a lot to complain about, but we're gonna break it down. So my ratings will include the ending, unfortunately. So the storyline, I am gonna give it a 1. So we've got the Celestial Toy Maker, who's pretty cool. Well, I get the characters actually in a bit. And this is just, I'm messing around with the Doctor. I've taken over Earth. He's made everybody right. So everyone thinks they're right. Unfortunately, I am the only one who's right. So the Toy Maker, it wouldn't work in the real world because I'm already right. But anyway, so everyone thinks they're right. And it causes chaos and destruction, and Unit is trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Of course, we have the I guess 14th Doctor, David Tennant, showing up with Donna. We got to figure it out. There's a lot of back and forth gaming and things like that, and there's some creepiness to this storyline, which I thought was cool. There's like these puppets and stuff. There's this doll. I kind of like the concept of like there's the first ever television screen image was this doll. And that doll, the Toy Maker has made it so that that doll has been infused in every screen. And only now, where everyone has a screen with them of some kind, either this cell phone, I'm using an iPhone here, an iPad, or your computer, or your 4K TV, or whatever, this face appears and it's kind of like messed with your mind. I actually thought that was really cool. The story I would have given the story a lot higher. Unfortunately, the ending is what ruined it. So I have to now take it back down to 1. I would have even given it 1.5. I was possibly considering giving it a 2 because I actually thought the idea was super cool, but there was some other goofy things in there. But the Toy Maker really messes with the Doctor, which is great. And yeah, I'll give it a 1. For pacing, I'm going to give it a 1.5 for pacing. I actually wasn't bored on this episode. I thought there was a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of running around and a lot of cool Toy Maker messing with the Doctor and like just playing the game with them and going to run around different rooms and just trying to figure out what the hell the Toy Maker's doing. And the Toy Maker can literally do anything. It's just basically like, I don't want to say like, it's like not Thanos, because Thanos, like, let's pretend he has the Infinity Gauntlet and he can just do whatever he wants, right? He can just manipulate reality and all that. So he's kind of neat. So that was good. Yeah, I wasn't bored or anything like that. So pretty good. Of course, I do think that you could always make it a little bit shorter, maybe cut a couple of, they're running around these rooms. You're like, okay, you can cut a couple of, a little bit of that, but not bored at all. So unlike the last one, which had a lot of boring parts, this actually wasn't too bad at all. For the artistry, I am going to give this a 2 out of 2, actually, for the artistry. I'll say that I like the music in this. I like the intro credits. I thought they looked good. Obviously the interior of the TARDIS is friggin' awesome. I mean, I think David Tennant looks cool. I like the hair. He's got the coat and all that. He looks good. I thought the toy maker was pretty cool. Like he looked cool, you know. They did a lot of effects on this one where they had a lot of moving around, and some of it's dodgy, I know, but I really like the puppet. There's a point where one of the characters, I'm not gonna say spoiler it, but you know, it's like this puppet thing, and I don't want to say too much. It's actually pretty neat. I thought that was really cool. I do like the idea of this puppet face being infused in all the screens, and he looked kind of cool and creepy. The giggle refers to the puppet's giggle or laugh. Actually, the giggle refers to the toy maker's laugh. So yeah, characters. Now characters, I'm torn on this one. I might give it a 1.5. I think maybe I will give it a 1.5. You know, Donna was great. I like Kate Stewart, man. She's awesome. I think David Tennant is one of the best actors that we have, so I really like him. Mel returned, Bonnie Langford, man, and I really liked her. I am a fan of the Colin Baker era of Doctor Who. Yes, you found the one fan of that era. No, I love Colin Baker's Doctor Who. I don't know. Bonnie, yeah, she's goofy, but they leveled her up in this one, so that's good. We were introduced briefly to the 15th Doctor, which I will get to in the spoiler section. Yeah, like the toy maker was pretty good. Like he was like a pretty good villain. Like he was like killing people and getting shit done. You know, I like villains that are like taking care of business. You know, I don't like this bullshit where it's like, oh, I'm this villain, but I'm not kind of not. You know, he got shit done. So there you go. So we're watching this. We're gonna get to enjoyment factor. I'm watching this episode, and I'll tell you right off the bat that I'm like, my previous two videos, it's, you know, Doctor Who's garbage, right? Blah blah blah. And everyone's pissed off at me, but they're completely. Anyone who is actually angry at me is completely wrong because I want to enjoy these things. I'm talking as a super fan of Doctor Who. I am very positive on a 6 out of 10 on that last episode is astronomical. Most of my buddies were like, what are you, out of your mind? Like that was like a 4 or 5 out of 10, and they think the first episode's like a 2 out of 10, right? So I'm on the high scale, and a few people have commented comparing me to other YouTube or other content creators. I have respect for anyone on YouTube who is putting out videos and giving their opinion. I respect everybody, whether they agree with me or not, but I am not affiliated with anybody other than myself, okay? I like things that people don't like, okay? And I despise things that people like. People thought Picard season 3 was great. I thought it was garbage. I thought it was super awful. I don't understand why everyone thought Picard season 3 was so good. It's crap. So I don't see, you know, and I didn't think The Marvels was the worst MCU movie. There's at least 10 MCU movies I could easily name, watch my ranking, that are worse than The Marvels. That's not because The Marvels is a good movie. That's because these other movies are even worse than The Marvels. So anyway, this entire episode I was watching, I thought, you know what? This isn't too bad. You know, I'm kind of you know, it's not peak RTD. It's not peak Doctor Who. But I would say it's solid, mid, maybe a little higher. A little bit higher than mid Doctor Who, pretty solid. And then we got the ending here. And now we're going to get into, so right before I give you my final, so what are we at here? I haven't given you my rating on enjoyment, but I'm at 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now I'm at 6 out of 10 without giving an enjoyment factor yet. So even if I give the enjoyment factor 0, that still means that I think this one was equal to the last one. I do think, before I get into spoilers, you can stop the video here. I do think this was the best one, I guess, but this could also be the worst one. The problem is the spoiler talk. So we're going to start right now. Fair warning, spoiler talk. All right. So at the end, the toy maker has lost a match. The Doctor has lost a match in their ongoing game, best 2 out of 3. And the toy maker says, well, I fought one Doctor, now I fought another Doctor. It's only best that I fight another Doctor. So he fires this ray at David Tennant, who then becomes Ncuti Gatwa. I believe that's how you say his name. So you're like, oh shit, he's going to regenerate right now. So he's regenerating, And you're like, nothing happens. And you're like, what the heck? He's like, this feels weird. So they actually Mel and Dawn are like grab his arms and kind of yank him, and like he splits into two doctors. So we've got 14 and 15 standing next to each other. And then they fight the Celestial Toy Maker in the final game of catch, which I actually think is pretty neat. I do like the fact that it's just a simple game. Let's play catch. If you drop the ball, you're out. I actually like that. And I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. And RTD did say there's going to be something controversial. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. There's two of them at the same time. I mean, they've regenerated. It's not like one traveled back and teamed up. So I thought this is a very interesting concept. There's two simultaneously. So they beat the toy maker, and I thought, well, now David Tennant will merge in, like the energy will go back in, and he'll merge into Shooty, and then that'll be that. That doesn't happen. There's two doctors running around. Like, this is dumb. You've completely ruined the uniqueness of the Doctor. Like, the whole point is that he's the Doctor. Why is there two doctors running around? This screams of a lack of confidence by BBC or Disney or whoever now. I don't even know who's pulling the strings. Maybe it is the toy maker. I don't know, because this is a super fail. Why is there two doctors? And there's two TARDISes, two doctors. So, okay, so I know they want to do they're basically clean rebooting it, saying Shooty now is just like the first in a new line of doctors. This is not a controversial, the RTD said this is going to be controversial. This isn't controversial. It's trash. Okay? It's super trash. Why would you do that? That just screams of a lack of respect for Doctor Who. Like, why is there two doctors running around that are the same thing? Just have them split, which was a cool idea, fights the toy maker, and then he merges back and becomes Shooty, and we continue on. It just shows that they have a lack of... So basically, this is what they're saying. Anyone defending this, if you're going to defend this in the comments, think about this. What they're saying is that they have a zero confidence level in Shooty. They have zero confidence. You know why? Because they've left themselves this thing. Well, if he doesn't work out, we can always get David Tennant back. That is the real reason. Think about this. Why else would they do that? There's no reason to do that. It is the lack of confidence. So this could either be seen positive or it could be seen negative. The positives is like, yeah, I'm not going to watch anything on Disney or with the 15th Doctor. I'm not going to watch that because that's not the real Doctor. The real Doctor is David Tennant, and he's the 14th, and that's it. You can easily say, and then you can ignore all this. Or you can say, well, I'll start with this Doctor. Again, you could think that this is positive. You can think that it's negative, right? I'm thinking it's a negative because of the lack of confidence that it shows. And I don't like that. So that said, I'm giving my enjoyment factor of a 1 because I don't know yet. Now, I could change my mind later. I don't know. I just watched this and ran into the room and did a video. I'm already late. I wanted to watch it at 1:30, but I was watching Godzilla vs. Biollante for like the 100th time. That's a great movie. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10, which is actually astronomical. So 7 out of 10 is like, yeah, this was good. But there's a big asterisk here. It's 7 out of 10, but it could really be a 2 out of 10. It could be the worst because why is there two doctors? Or if you think that's a brilliant idea and now in your mind you can compartmentalize your original era of Doctor Who and say it ended with David Tennant and now this is completely new Who and I'm not going to watch any of this trash because it's Disney or whatever and BBC's out of their minds, then you can just ignore that and say like, okay, it concluded there and I'm done. David Tennant is happy and living out the rest of his lives. And if he ever wants to become the Doctor again and go traveling, he's got a TARDIS. You might think that's good. You might think it's bad. I really don't know what you're going to think. I gave the last one a 6 out of 10. Somebody called me the R word. I'm like, really? Like, what the heck? So anyway, I'm very anxious to see what everyone says on this one. And yes, I called this one garbage, even though I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm calling it garbage because I called the other ones garbage. So it's a little bit of a clickbaity title, but what do you want to do? I'm a small channel. I need everyone's help. Speaking of that, if you like what I'm doing, give me a like, subscribe, help me out, talk to me. Let's see where we go with this one. Until next time.